the head of the Russian-backed administration in Kharkiv, has admitted that Ukraine's advance in the region has been very sharp and rapid. The areas in red have been under Russian control, but Vitaly Ganchev confirmed Ukrainian forces have captured a number of settlements in the area. Several videos have been circulating on social media showing villagers welcoming Ukrainian forces in Russian-controlled towns. Ukraine's President, Volodymyr Zelensky, says troops have now reclaimed more than 1,000 square kilometres in their counter-offensives in Kharkiv and the southern Kherson region.
Up
to now, the armed forces of Ukraine have liberated and taken control of about 30 settlements in the Kharkiv region. In a number of regions in the area, activities in checking and securing the territory are ongoing. Gradually, we're taking over new settlements. Everywhere, we're returning the Ukrainian flag and safety for our people.
Gabriel Elizondo has more from Kyiv.
The Ukrainians have broken through the Russian defenses in the northeast region of Kharkiv, and the Ukrainians are pushing east. They're retaking more than a dozen towns and villages, and instead of just holding them and taking up a defensive posture, the Ukrainians continue to push east. It's clear that the Russians have been caught off guard. The Ukrainians now have encircled a key town called Kupiansk. It's a town of about 27,000 people, about 120 kilometers east of Kharkiv city. The Ukrainians are on the cusp of potentially retaking this town, and it would be critical because there is a main railroad line that runs through there that has been a main supply line for Russian troops in the region. If the Ukrainians retake it, it would cut off that Russian supply line route. It's clear that the Russians are in trouble, and it's also clear that they realize that because there are unconfirmed reports that Russia is sending in heavy equipment and more troops to try to blunt the Ukrainian offense. Now, there's also a new report out from the World Bank and the European Commission saying that Ukraine will need up to $349 billion to rebuild the country that's been devastated from this war. And that amount of money is likely to go up in the coming months as the war continues.
The UN nuclear watchdog says new shelling has destroyed power infrastructure in a Ukrainian city where staff operating the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant live. The IAEA says this poses a growing threat to the plant, where the situation is becoming increasingly precarious. The plant's off-site power lines, which would help to prevent a potential nuclear meltdown, have already been cut. EU energy ministers have struggled to reach a consensus on how to tackle the bloc's energy crisis at an emergency meeting in Brussels. They've been trying to find ways to shield citizens and businesses from spiralling gas and electricity bills, including consumption cuts and price caps. Prices are rising sharply across Europe as Russia chokes off gas supplies over sanctions imposed in reaction to its invasion of Ukraine. European governments are increasingly concerned that rising costs could lead to social unrest and political instability.